Here is some information about the entity Noah. Noah takes the appearance of a face with circular eyes with tiny eyes inside them, including a toothy mouth with rotten teeth. Noah emits a dark red light, and audible whispers. It's present at any room at any time, and when it emits its whispers, it will also spawn at the current room and can travel at a speed that is less than or equal to 10 rooms per second. Upon spawning, Noah will emit whispers and randomly move around. Not only serving as a distraction, you should not hide while near it, as Noah can deal 10 health per second inside of a hiding spot. Noah will soon despawn afterwards. Stay safe. Here is some information about the entity John. John takes the appearance of a blackened Robloxian with a head replaced with a mouth with 2 eyes inside it with hands. John can appear at any time, and can jump scare you. John can either appear in a locker or behind a door. If John is in a locker, any player in proximity will be damaged. Stay safe. Here is some information about the entity A10. A10 takes the appearance of a smile with an enlarged mouth. A10 also emits a blue light and static sounds. It's present when you are around A10, and you hear a thump sound following with its distant static sounds. It will also spawn at A0 and slowly reach to the current room at 1.2 rooms per second. Get into any hiding spot immediately to avoid death. When A10 reaches the current room, it will instantly kill anyone who isn't hiding. It will later despawn after reaching the door. Stay safe out there. Here is some information about the entity A60. A60 takes the appearance of 4 distinct faces, each with different forms. A60 also emits a red light and distant static noises. It's present when you are around A60, and you hear distant static noises. It will also spawn at A0 and will reach to the current room at 7.5 rooms per second. Get into any hiding spot immediately to avoid death. When A60 reaches the current room, it will instantly kill anyone who isn't hiding. It will later stay idle for around 4 seconds to kill unsuspecting victims, then later despawn. Stay safe out there. Here is some information about the entity A80. A80 takes the appearance of a face with blackened eyes, each tearing a black liquid. A80 also emits a dark green light and raining sounds. It's present when you are around A80, and you hear raining noises. It will also spawn at the current and is stationary. Try to maintain distance from A80. Players who don't maintain distance between the entity will get attacked, suffering from 20 to 60 damage. It will despawn after opening the next door or getting attacked. Stay safe out there. Here is some information about the entity A100. A100 takes the appearance of 5 distinct faces, each with a similar appearance. A100 also emits a light purple light and distant screaming noises. It's present when you are around A100, and you hear distant screaming. It will also spawn at A0 and will speed to the current room at 13.3 rooms per second. Get into any hiding spot that isn't a dark locker. When A100 reaches the current room, it will check all lockers, instantly kill anyone who isn't hiding. It will later rebound 2 times, then despawn. Stay safe out there. Here is some information about the entity A120. A120 takes the appearance of a toothy grin with a singular eye. A120 also emits yellow light and distant subtle static noises. It's present when you are around A120, and you hear distant static. It will also spawn at A0 and will speed to the current room at 9.25 rooms per second. Get into any hiding spot. When A120 reaches the current room, it will kill any player that isn't hiding. It will stay for a few seconds afterwards. It will later rebound 3 times, then despawn. Though A120 can spawn minions, one known as Club 120 takes the appearance of a distorted smile with 2 eyes. It also moves around randomly and can shoot projectiles at players who are in hiding, each wielding 25 damage. In a few seconds, Club 120 can successfully despawn. Here is some information about the entity A150. A150 takes the appearance of a scribbled smile. A150 also emits a cyan light and pencil writing noises. It's present when you are around A150, and you hear distant scribbling. It will also spawn at the current room and travels at 1.73 rooms per second. It will first appear as a paper with a smiley face on it. A150 will shortly jump from the paper and check all lockers and sometimes fridges in the room. whilst A150 instantly kills any player he finds or who isn't hiding. It will later go back into its paper, then later despawn. Stay safe out there. Here is some information about the entity A183. A183 takes the appearance of an orange pixelated face, with a toothy smile and menacing eyes. A183 also emits an orange light, and a bit crushed noise upon spawn. It's present when you are around A183, and you hear distant bit crushed whirring noises. It will also spawn at A000 and travels at an insane speed of 14.7 rooms per second. It will rebound around 6 to 9 times, though. Never leave your hiding spot during its despawn, as it will become enraged, and will emit a loud sound bite, resulting with it continuing its cycle of rebounding, and it gaining a speed of 24.4 rooms per second. It will afterwards despawn. Stay safe out there. Here is some information about the entity A200. A200 takes the appearance of a crudely drawn smiley face. A200 also emits a white light, and audible wind noises. It's present when you are around A200, and you hear distant wind noises. It will also spawn 50 rooms behind you and travels at a speed of 3.4 rooms per second. It will rebound until you hide again. It later despawns with a whoosh sound. Stay safe. Here is some information about the entity A221. A221 takes the appearance of a face with a grin with crudely drawn scribbled eyes. A221 also emits a cyan-like light, and engine noises. It's present when you are around A221, and you hear engine noises. It will also spawn at A000 and can travel at 18.42 rooms per second. Upon spawning, A221 will rapidly make its way to the current room. It will rebound a few rooms back before returning to the current room. A221 will repeat that 12 to 20 times. A221 will later despawn. Don't worry as A221 is removed from interminable rooms. Stay safe. Here is some information about the entity A245. A245 takes the appearance of a turquoise face with a singular big eye, and enlarged mouth. A245 also emits a turquoise light, and portal noises. It's present when you are around A245, and you hear distant portal noises. It will also spawn 3 to 5 rooms behind you and travels at a speed of 7.5 rooms per second. When it reaches the current room, it will break all the lockers inside the room. It later moves back to spawn, thus despawning. Stay safe. Here is some information about the entity A246. A246 takes the appearance of a face with blackened eyes and a toothy smile. A246 also emits a dark violet light, and a loud roar. It's present when you are around A246, and you hear a roar. It will also spawn in the current room and can travel at 4.76 rooms per second. Upon spawning, A246 will emit a roar. It will then later wait 5 seconds before beginning its cycle of rebounding. It will go 10 rooms back, then rebound once, later go 5 rooms back, then rebound once again. A246 will later despawn, though the entity has a tiny chance of spawning again in the next room. Don't worry about A246 as it is non-existent and has been removed from interminable rooms. Stay safe. Here is some information about the entity A258. A258 takes the appearance of a face with an enlarged mouth with a large eyeball. A258 also emits a dark red light, and loud buzzing. It's present when you are around A258, and you hear buzzing noises. It will also spawn in the current room and is stationary. Upon spawning, it will emit loud buzzing noises accompanied by beeping sounds. This is dangerous due to it being a distraction, and also drawing away noise from other entities. The entity will later despawn, thus stopping the noise. Stay safe. Here is some information about the entity A278. A278 takes the appearance of a face with wide eyes with small pupils with a toothy smile. A278 also emits a purple light, and loud wind noises. It's present when you are around A278, and you hear loud wind noises. It will also spawn in the current room and travel at a speed of 4.1 rooms per second. A278 will spawn from a portal, while waiting. A278 will then later travel to A000. Whilst doing so, please hide in any Avaliel hiding spot or face certain death. A278 will then despawn. That is not the only thing A278 does. From a portal, A278 will start producing clones, one of which is Lab 278. They're all lights. They're all lights. They're all lights. They're all lights. Lab 278 takes appearance of a face with circular eyes with a saddened mouth. Lab 278 will spawn from a portal. Afterwards, Lab 278 will check the current room for all the tables in the room, killing any player it finds. ULB 278 is another one of A278's clones. ULB 278 takes appearance of A278, though its eyes are more enlarged, and mouth is much smaller. ULB 278 will also spawn from a portal. ULB 278 will later check all blue lockers in the current room, killing any player it finds. ULB and Lab despawn in the end of A278's chaos. Stay safe. Here is some information about the entity A300. A300 takes the appearance of a face with three long eyes with a large frowning mouth. A300 also emits a varying light and loud static noises. It's present when you are around A300 and you hear static noises. It will also spawn in the current room and is stationary. Upon encounter, A300 will stay still for a few seconds. This is while A300 will change its color to the corresponding entities. A300 can correspond to the colors of A10, A35, A60, A80, A100, A200, A245, A258, and Noah. After changing color, A300 will start screaming, its pupils being split in half, and mouth open. A300 will shake rapidly while emitting particles corresponding to its color. A300 will later despawn while spawning the entity that corresponds to its color. Stay safe. Here is some information about the entity A300. A332 takes the appearance of a face with two circular eyes with a large mouth. A332 emits a ghostly teal light and static noises. It's present when you are around A332 and hear static noises. It will also spawn at A0 and moves at a speed of 18.4 rooms per second. Upon encounter, A332 will dash to the room. It will exceed beyond the room as long as every player is hiding. A332 chases players who are in hiding. A332 will continue this for 1 to 2 minutes. It will later despawn. Stay safe. Here is some information about the entity A350. A350 takes the appearance of a face with crying eyes and a smile. The entity emits bomb sounds. It's present when you are around A350 and hear explosions. It will also spawn at A0 and moves at a speed of 10 rooms/2 seconds. Upon encounter, A350 will slowly make its way to the current room, throwing bombs at the current room. When A350 reaches the current room, it will despawn. Stay safe. Here is some information about the entity A404. A404 takes the appearance of a simple head with large eyes. The entity moves at a speed of 151.5 rooms per second. It is present if the section doesn't load properly. The entity can kill you even when you're hiding. A404 will also instantly kick players that it kills. A404 will later despawn. Stay safe. Here is some information about the entity E1. E1 takes the appearance of a somewhat disturbing face with large eyes and a gaping mouth. E1 also emits a yellow light and buzzing sounds. It's present around E1, and when you hear buzzing sounds, it will also spawn at the current room and behaves in a similar fashion as Noah. When you encounter this entity, please don't attempt to use your flashlight around it. The entity will punish you by expelling 1/15 of your health. It will despawn when you hear faint flashing about the entity E22. E22 takes the appearance of a face with a singular big eye with a menacing smile. E22 emits a varying red light. Including static accompanied by roars. It's present around E22. And when you hear static accompanied by roars, it also spawns at E0 and travels at a speed of 2.16 rooms per second. When you encounter this entity, please hide in any available locker you can find. The entity will soon later despawn upon reaching the current information about the entity E42. E42 takes the appearance of 7 different colored eyes. E42 emits a red light including ringing noises. It's present around E42. And when you hear ringing noises, it also spawns at the current room and travels at a speed of 0.18 rooms per second. When you encounter this entity, it will move from a side of the room to the other. The entity will soon later despawn upon reaching the current. The entity E60. E60 appears as a total of 6 faces. E60 emits a red light, including high-pitched static. It's present around E60, and when you hear its ambience, it also spawns at E0 and travels at a speed of 1.53 to 13.4 rooms per second. This entity will travel to the current room. Once reaching the current room, E60 will wait for a few seconds. Then it will despawn. About the entity E142. E142 appears as a mask with a cheery expression. E142 emits a pinkish light, including a sound similar to an orchestraic horn. It's present around E142, and when you hear its ambience, it also spawns at E0 and travels at a speed of 10.07 rooms per second. This entity will only track players which aren't hiding, so please hide. Thankfully this entity will despawn at about the entity E144. E144 appears as a mask with a tragic expression. E144 emits a greenish light, including a sound similar to an bass-boosted sound. It's present around E144. And when you hear its ambience, it also spawns at E0 and travels at a speed of 4.4 rooms per second. It will stay at the current room for a moment before traveling to E0. It will then despawn. About the entity E144. E200 appears as a static-like face with realistic eyes and static runoff. E200 emits a white light with a yellow sparkly aura, including distorted audio. It's present around E200, and when you hear its ambience, it also spawns at E0 and travels at a speed of 2.4 rooms per second. It will stay at the current room for a moment before traveling a few rooms back. What makes the entity special is that it will fake its despawn. Once faking its despawn, it will silently rebound to the current room, where it will actually despawn. Here is some information about the entity V5. V5 appears as a face with 3 circular eyes and a massive saddened mouth. V5 emits a dark purple light, including a distorted siren sound. It's present around V5, and when you hear its ambience, it also spawns at the current room and travels at a speed of 0.2 to 0.33 rooms per second. Please avoid getting near V5, though it's recommended to hide in the tables and lockers each room provides. People who fail to keep distance from V5 will lose 1/8 to 1/6 of their health. V5 will then despawn after a while. Some information about the entity V27. V27 appears as a face similar to a division sign, with vertical eyes and an alternating square mouth with thick teeth. V5 emits a bluish-purple light, including distorted static-like sounds. It's present around V27, and when you hear its ambience, it also spawns at the current room and travels at a speed of 0.23 to 24.33 rooms per second. V27 will travel to the current room like any old runner entity, but V27 will slowly increase its speed per second. V27 will later despawn once reaching the current room. Some information about the entity V35. V35 mostly appears as a face with bleeding circular eyes with a sinister grin with several jagged, pointy teeth. V35 emits a magenta-like light, along with distorted whirring sounds. It's present around V35, and when you hear its ambience, it also spawns at V0 and travels at a speed of 3.98 rooms per second. V35 will travel to the current room then will rebound. V35 will then initiate a fake despawn, very similar to a previously mentioned entity. V35 afterwards will travel to the current room and rebound once again, before he will actually despawn. Some information about the entity V50. V50 is depicted of having maniac-like eyes and a glitchy sinister mouth. V50 is unique for having no light at all, and emitting some kind of static noise. It's present around V50, and when you hear its ambience, it also spawns at V0 and travels at a speed of 1 to 5 rooms per second. V50 will just travel to the current room, that's all he does. V50 later despawns. Stay safe out there and don't die.